redacted documents, and the unredacted documents had been publicly available for many years. And as you can see, the look on their faces revealed that they actually thought that they were going to be breaking some news, that Attorney General Pam Bondi released the long-awaited Epstein client list and other information, only to unfortunately get egg on their face and look like a bunch of dupes. So the new Attorney General Pam Bondi sent a letter to Cash.
They did all look really stupid. That whole situation pissed me off.
Yeah, it pissed me
Them
off.
smiling, taking selfies with those binders.
Yeah, they were dancing
Yeah,
like
the
their
optics were
trophies.
terrible.
And also just the whole idea of they're like, oh, I'm giving you this critical information. You know, the government's about to blow something open, but you got to wait. Like, no, like what made you think that we had to wait on that? And
Did you hear the reason that they did that with the binders?
are you talking about like why they waited or what?
No, why they were smiling with the showing the binders.
Because they thought that because they'd never seen the Epstein files, they didn't bother reading them and realize, oh my God, we've already had all this stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steph.
Apparently
when they were leaving, there was like the mainstream media out there, and they were showing them, but they weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the other part I heard is they got led down that corridor, and the media was actually out there for another reason, so they kind of got caught blindsided. Like this whole thing sounds like it was orchestrated to make Trump look bad in some way.
What about that GOP account sharing here's phase 2, and it went to a Rick roll?
Yeah, the House
that pissed me off.
Man, I couldn't believe that they did that. That was really tough.
If your aim is to take this seriously, why would you do that? You want to take this seriously.
This is why I got pissed. Like, this is how this all felt.
What's up, guys? Just got out of the White House. Got the Epstein documents right here. They're going to be released part by part in the next coming year on my podcast that you can subscribe to on Daily Wire Plus. Use the promo code CHILDRAPE for 25% off so you can see the full list exposed over the next year. Make America great again.
He's awesome, by the way.
He is. I like him.
Alex Rosen, he does all the pedophiles things.
Yeah, he actually busts child predators a lot. He's really good at it too. Like he gets these he stings these predators, and what he does is he goes up to him like, "What's up, man? Oh yeah, man, we're bros." And he like gets them to admit everything by acting like it's just like no big deal. Like you have to watch him work to really appreciate it. He gets a little edgy sometimes, but the work that he does, I do appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that sort of scares me a little bit about the Epstein and this whole debacle with the Epstein list and files or whatever you want to call it is everything else that they've promised that they're going to release. You know, like they've promised that they're going to release all the, you know, JFK and RFK and all the Ks, and, you know, there's also the investigation into the COVID stuff, and you know, we all want the truth to come out. And now the very first thing that you decide to actually show the public, and you do this with it, you don't even show anyone anything, and you don't really do anything, and you make it a joke.
It's all starting to feel like a distraction.
Tell the new director of the FBI, demanding all of the files and pointing out the obvious fact that the FBI has been withholding them. And then Cash posted on Twitter saying the FBI is entering a new era, one that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. If there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them. And we will bring everything we find to the Department of Justice to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. The oath we take is to the Constitution, and under my leadership, that promise will be upheld without compromise. Well, that's a nice pipe dream, Cash, because the files most likely won't be released. Or maybe some of them will be released, but then they'll discover that an unnamed, unknown bureaucrat destroyed the documents, just like Hillary Clinton and her staff destroyed the evidence of her email exchanges. And then maybe A couple will be released in what's called a limited hangout, which will not provide the full extent of what it is that Jeffrey Epstein was doing and who he was working for. And who he was working for is the big elephant in the room that none of the conservative Inc. influencers who obtain these bogus
They really,
documents
they
and
really
were-
do that.
No,
No,
that's
it's AI, Rhino.
Okay,
I
good.
was gonna say
They
it's gotta be.
basically
No, it's
did
AI.
this.
I was gonna
Basically
say,
did
wow.
They
What's her
did
face
kind
is
of
floating
true.
there.
Ask these questions now. AI is doing this to me.
Well, like right there, you paused it on a perfect frame because you can see that her coat is going through her arm. She's floating in space. Actually, most of them are.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
You thought this is real, Rhino? You're gonna get duped.
A lot
Rhino's
of
gonna
people
get
did.
catfished.
Yeah, man.
Rhino's gonna
Yeah.
get
No, Rhino's
catfished by some
catfish
AI
contender.
woman.
Brad Pitt
Rhino's
needs your
catfish all
help.
the-
You know that, Rhino. Brad Pitt needs your help right now.
Somebody's writing gullible in the sky.
Rhino watches AI Twitch streamers.
Yeah. They're real. They love me.
redacted and many years old, will dare touch. This, by the way, was an AI meme, but it really does illustrate the circus
real.
that these people are participating in. I haven't
He's
been
holding
watching
onto a
Fox
chair.
News.
Yeah, I feel kind of duped. I got pulled into this circus. For a minute, I thought they were going to actually do something. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, you got a couple
whole
of
situation.
factors. You know, to play devil's advocate here, you do have a situation where, you know, Bondi and Cash are in hostile territory. These agencies are filled with people that are not going to be cooperative, and they just got there, and they've got a clean house. And apparently, they did, you know, send agents over to the New York office when New York didn't surrender the documents on Friday. They went in, they got out 3 file boxes, and they are firing the person responsible for refusing to turn them over. And I think you've just got such a machine that's entrenched there, and it's very difficult to get that machine to cooperate. I mean, I see this with CEOs, right? And I can tell you firsthand that a CEO does not have full control as you think. If there are elements in the organization that are resisting the direction that is being positioned for the organization, then you have to get rid of those people, and that does take a little time. The other thing is they couldn't say anything about it because there was a 3 p.m. embargo. So they could not discuss the documents. And you know, you call them influencers, but there was one guy in that crowd, Cernovich, who's a friend of mine, and he's got a good take on it, and he goes through it. He's a little bit of a firebrand, but no one's done more than him to unseal the Epstein docs. He was one of the first people filing a lawsuit back in 2017 that unsealed 2,000 pages of documents. He's probably the one that lit this whole fire to begin with on the documentation. And I think it's just unfair to say he's trying to cash in on it. That's the last thing he needs. He has money of his own. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need clout. And he is probably the one who was pushing hardest 10 years ago on this Epstein stuff. So I just got to say that in his defense. I don't know any of these other influencers.
Why does there have to be an embargo on this in 2025, though, where you can literally just put it on the Department of Justice website?
I don't know, but that's what they were
which
told,
that alone is kind of like my big.
I don't like that.
Detector
This
thing
isn't
there.
a fucking Netflix movie review.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I think of when I think of embargo.
Yeah, it's not like they're going out and
Critic
arresting anybody
reviews.
in the meantime.
The thing
Yeah.
that I think is weird, okay, the one thing that sticks in my head is the night before, was it the night before that Pam Bondi goes on TV and says, "I've seen the files and what's in it is really disturbing," and and yet nothing new was revealed. So what did she see?
She saw
and
nothing.
what was she talking about, or was that just all smoke and mirrors?
It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, it's, you know, like that, you freeze it on a great spot. That's James Comey's daughter right there. And she is a major player in the SDNY, at the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. So, like, she's involved in the Diddy prosecution. She was involved in the R. Kelly prosecution. Like, I'm sure people like her had their hands in a lot of things there. But the idea that they've got any of that stuff, it's still out there. I'm like, I'm not holding my breath. And
It's as gone as the gold in Fort Knox, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's why Pam Bondi's like, oh, I told them to give it to me by Friday morning. And I'm like, I guarantee you nothing came into that office.
Yeah.
By any, like, whatever she's talking about, it ain't happening. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that it's never been more over, bros, but I think it's over.
He's
well,
probably
apparently, like I said, there were agents sent over and they retrieved 3 file boxes that morning. But that news got buried because of the whole Zelensky thing, right? So that completely and maybe conveniently, if for those conspiracy theorists out there who are going to connect the dots, made that disappear from the news cycle.
I'm pretty sure Dice is going to shit on the influencers more. He hates everybody, by the way. So
but I think these people.
That's why I like Mark actually, because he doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
Much since they fired Tucker Carlson years ago now, who really was the only reason to watch Fox News. But I did tune in to see what Jesse Waters had to say, because I did see a clip of him interviewing Attorney General Pam Bondi just a few days ago, who, promised that the files are going to be released the next day. And you could just tell from the tone of her voice that it was a big nothing burger. Actually, worse than a nothing burger, it was a gigantic turd sandwich. But Jesse Waters, to his credit, did a fantastic segment last night about it.
Last night on Jesse Waters Primetime, Attorney General Pam Bondi said this.
What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Again, the information that she put in those binders, that she duped those conservative influencers to release, was already publicly known for years.
So we were looking today to find out more about why the government's been so suspiciously protective of Jeffrey Epstein. This afternoon, a bunch of conservative influencers left a meeting at the White House with binders that said the Epstein files, phase 1.
I hate that. This isn't an MCU movie release.
Yeah.
Phase 1.
I feel like that was what's his name? Elon Musk's idea, because when it said phase 1 like that, it immediately reminded me of the Twitter files.
You brought that up. That's a really good point.
Yeah. I don't know if it was more Elon's idea, more so than it was them trying to think, this is how Elon did it. We'll do it the same way.
Wait, hold on. That's what she was. I think what she was going to finish is by the time everyone got to phase 3 or 4, it was forgotten.
Yeah, because the same thing happened with the Twitter files. I was keeping up with it, and they were releasing more and more stuff, and so many people were covering the Twitter files. By like the phase 3, I think that it was like cut in half. I barely saw it on my feed, but I was still reading stuff, and then they kept releasing things, and I'm just like, people just didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're gonna do the same thing with this. Like, it's going to be interesting. People are interested. But even now with phase 1, it's such a nothing burger that by phase 2, who's really going to pay attention?
I already lost my attention.
I sent over
an explanation
about where Elon's on Joe Rogan talking about the release of the files. I thought it was a good clip.
All right, here, let me pull it up.
Share my screen real quick, Flash. Apparently, this AI's getting me everywhere now.
I told you, Brad
Brad
needs
Pitt,
you.
honestly, loves me.
Oh, it's core member.
He does. He loves me.
Why don't you believe me, Rhino?
I'm going to send him my life savings so that I can
need
save
to send
his
him
life.
money so that
he
he
can
can
love
save
Yeah,
me.
he'll send you that green card.
He'll pay you
Yeah,
back.
that's my way into America.
That's
Brad
right.
Pitt.
I understand what they were trying to do with the conservative influencers. They want to offer them a seat, and they want them to be taken more seriously. But this was such a misfire. It was a real misfire. That, like, if you want to be taken seriously, holding up binders like that and kind of looking at the mainstream media they weren't even there for these Epstein files. They were there to like take photos of another oh man, what were they there for? Like another diplomat that was visiting the White House. That's why they were there. And they sort of lifted up the files like, nah, 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 like we have the file. It's like, why would you do that? These are supposed to be, it's supposed to be taken seriously. Why would you hold them up and smile as if like, ha, look, we finally have a seat at the table. It's like, don't do that. Like, if you want to be taken seriously, act seriously. And that's just, it's so like disappointing because I want, influencers to have a seat and to be there, but at the same time, and I know that they are taking it seriously, but they need to understand that because they have so many people looking at them and rooting for them, it's not going to look good when like they take a misstep. And obviously, like it's something that can be forgiven, and like it's like, okay, give you another chance, like, make us proud, y'all deserve to be there, but like take it seriously.
Yeah, I don't know about the others, but I'll tell you, the Cernovich, no one takes it more seriously than Cernovich or Pursuit.
Yeah, I really like him. Yeah.
2017.
I think they got duped.
See, and that's the other thing. Like, why? I don't think they got duped. I don't think that they were. Here's the thing. I don't think they got duped. I think that this was always the information that was going to be released, but the way that they hyped it up as if like we're going to get all of the information, and then they have like these binders that say the Epstein files that they weren't supposed to take photos with, right? They weren't supposed to do the selfies. They weren't supposed to do anything like that because I guess like that letter was supposed to go out first, or there was like a letter or statement that was supposed to get released first before they started showing their binders. And that's where they made the mistake of, putting their binders up and taking selfies with the binders. Like they made that mistake. They should have followed the rules. If you want to be taken seriously, follow the rules, right? Because like I guess like this statement was supposed to be out there. The one that said that the FBI was like withholding documents or something. There was like a whistleblower within the FBI that said there's more documents that they're hiding.
I'll vaguely answer this question. Where is that evidence? Where's all those videos and recordings? Mossad.
Yep. And so long with this Epstein files.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What is up with that? It was like, yeah, it's like Lucy and the football with Charlie Brown when she always pulls that football away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
It's the same thing. It's like they keep telling us they're going to release it day one. Oh, day
we have
one.
A serious case of no one's being arrested ophobia,
Well, there's also right.
Like what the going on?
What the is going on? Also, there's this real fear that someone's destroying the evidence, and you keep.
That's 100% happening, at least on our side. Like, there's a reason. You get in a lot of trouble for talking about this stuff, but when the Prime Minister of Israel went to America, there's a reason Trump's pulling the guy's chair out. You ever see him pull anybody's chair out like that and get it caught on camera? Just saying.
Stories, unsubstantiated stories, of FBI people.
Where is the evidence? I mean, the guy had like tons of videos and recordings.
Yeah,
I mean, he had all sorts of things.
Right,
like there's a mountain of evidence.
Right.
So where's that mountain?
Yeah, where's that mountain? And what would be the reason why they would agree? Like there would have to be something in it for them to agree to not put it out, right? Like there has to be some sort of financial entanglement, some sort of relationship with the people that are on that list.
Yeah.
That they can provide a value that was big enough for you to not release it or to slow release it or to hope you can get away with like putting out some redacted files that don't show anything.
Yeah.
This is only stage one.
Redacted.
Only stage one. Don't worry. The real stuff's coming. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like why wouldn't you just release it all? Like what could possibly be worth protecting? And
there's also that chick.
Hold on a second. People are talking about Trump on the flight logs. Trump was on there around 1994 before a lot of this shit was happening, and he was the one flight log that a lot of people point out. He was on there with Epstein's family. That was a family trip. It wasn't to that island with the shit shows.
Yeah,
that gets left out a lot of the times when that gets brought up. Because they don't want you to. They don't want you to talk about that.
But
this
also
isn't like Bill Clinton doing it.
There's that chick that's locked up for sex trafficking that's involved in all of this, but like,
Ghislaine
where's
Maxwell.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Trump didn't fly to the island.
No, and neither did Robert Kennedy Jr. Wasn't he? He's already admitted that he's been on the plane twice. And it was both family trips. They were both within the United States, like just traveling from, somewhere to somewhere. He was with his entire family both times. Like, there can be explanations to why, like, this person was a powerful person. They had a lot of money. They had a lot of influence. And no doubt, like, oh, here, I'll take you. Yeah, no worries. They've got no idea what's the nefarious shit that's going on. And they're just catching a ride. That can happen. It's not out of the realms of possibility.
Well, RFK also socialized with everyone in New York who was anybody.
Well, Epstein snaked his way into all these big people. I mean, it
was his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was his job. He had to establish connections with everybody.
Yep.
So that's what he did. So everyone's on the list, or 1 degree or 2 degrees separated, who's anybody in New York.
The end of this actual interview, I watched the whole thing, is actually pretty crazy because they're going into the corruption, and Joe asks Elon, he goes, what can you go in like detail into it? He goes, man, if I go into it, I'll get killed. Straight out.
Right.
Elon said that.
Yeah, if he was on there, they would have burnt the country down 100%. Yeah, they don't talk about the time that it was that he was on there, 1994. You can find all of this out pretty easily by looking.
If they had something on Trump with that list, it would have been out before the election.
Yep.
Yeah, it would already be out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I've got probably the same information that, I'm just reading what's the latest thing on the X, I'm just looking at my X feed, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's a real page turner. And like, I thought we were going to get some revelations today. I was like, big binders full of stuff.
Yeah.
There's got to be something in there.
Well, there was those people that were given a copy of it. They were all like waving it around like they got the Willy Wonka ticket.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And what happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So
I think Laura Loomer released it online. I think. Right?
Yeah, she's not very
Yeah, she did.
So
he probably didn't like it. Talking about Laura Loomer because she keeps shitting on Ashley Sinclair.
Does anybody find anything in there that's interesting?
No, it's all old stuff from 2015.
Ashley Sinclair's mad because she's a side hoe.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100%.
Elon has another kid.
Yeah, that he proudly announced.
Yeah,
I feel bad for that kid she has though. Like, what a shit show to be born into.
I like that someone was saying her worldwide privacy tour. Please, I just want my privacy.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be left alone.
Do you think we'll ever get them, the files? Because there's supposed to be a ton of stuff. Like his mansion had tons of cameras in there. He threw a lot of parties. The island had tons of video cameras, and he would use all of that information to blackmail people.
There was part of that.
All of that was gone.
Yeah, there's part of that.
Well, Mossad uses it to blackmail people.
Where Elon speculates that it's probably uploaded to some ancient computer system in the FBI, because they're all ancient computer systems. He's like, it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you see so many politicians. Never mind. I don't even want to get into it, but let me pull in.
What's wrong, Flash? You afraid you're going to get swatted?
The platform does more like.
But even if we have the list,
hey, shut it down.
I mean, we have the list essentially, right? We already have.
We have some flight logs, yeah.
And that's how you get to the island is on that plane. What's got to happen is they got to do some prosecutions. Even if I don't care who it is, get 5 people off the list you don't care about. Just do something. I think what people feel. Just do something to have some sort of like, this is a horrible thing that happened, and something's got to happen.
Mm-hmm. Is it true? Is there any truth? Sorry, this is probably a question for Sean. Is there any truth to the rumors that Biden's pardons aren't going to stand?
No.
Because they were pre-pardons? No,
absolute.
No, that's the part. Think of the way you need to look at like the pardon power. It's like if you bought a blender and it says, here's a list of things you can't blend. And all it says is you can't blend an impeachment. You can do anything else with it. So literally you can give pardons ahead of time. That's 100%
Okay.
allowed. So yeah, and the idea that like if it comes out Biden had dementia, or maybe Jill signed off on these, like they're out the door, it's done. Those pardons aren't coming back.
Why didn't he pardon himself?
That's never been done before.
It's never been done before, but why can't you? Because remember, there's only one thing you're not allowed to do. So I think I'm sure that was negotiated with Trump ahead of time.
I just want to see Fauci get what he deserves.
Well, it's not going to happen now.
There's God's justice and man's justice. So one of those is going to happen.
I want to see the justice. I know God's justice is going to be brutal, but like, I want to see it.
Go through
this is so ridiculous.
Redact any personal identifying information,
and the funny part is,
what was she doing?
Those files have been released.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all unredacted.
They're all unredacted. It's like, what is the next phase going to look like?
Yeah.
I mean, that could easily.
They're the same pages unredacted.
I mean,
that's phase 2.
If you're if you're not paying attention, that could be somebody within preparing the documents just saying, I don't know.
Phase 2,
it
they
looks
get these
bad, right?
exact same pages.
It looks terrible.
Maybe it's deliberately made to look bad.
I was really excited. Oh man, they're going to really release them.
Oh, you know what
phase 2
is?
I was.
No, you know what phase 2 is? Phase 2 is the same pages as this with it all redacted.
It's the multiverse version.
They redacted all, and they.
We're already at the multiverse.
Bizarro universe.
Yeah. I beat the out of my dick so goddamn hard I died. It's still hard then too, by the way. For 20, pre-order the Epstein Deluxe bundle for early access by 2030 for $100.
Yeah.
Wait, are we gonna get DLC?
Is there a season pass?
It's like the gold coin for the Epstein files.
Everybody contribute $10 to release the next name.
Hey, Captain Butt Chicken became a member.
Order now and you get the limited edition Epstein skin for the game.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Partnership with Epic and Fortnite.
You get you know how you come down in the glider for Fortnite? Well, you get in his version, you come down with rope.
Each week,
the new map is the island.
Yeah.
The Fortnite, the skins change. Each week they release a name on the list and they get that skin each week.
Oh no.